In the quiet town of Niagara Falls, New York, there was once a neighborhood that seemed like the perfect slice of American suburbia. Neatly trimmed lawns, swing sets swaying in the breeze, and children riding bikes past rows of modest homes. It was called Love Canal, but under that peaceful facade, something monstrous was buried. Literally, an invisible threat seeped into basements, backyards, and bodies. It didn't roar or scream. It crept. It soaked. It mutated. And for years, no one said a word. This is the story of a disaster hidden in plain sight, one that poisoned hundreds, destroyed a community, and exposed the price of corporate negligence. Because sometimes, paradise is built on poison. In the 1890s, a man named William T. Love envisioned a utopia. He planned to dig a canal that would connect the upper and lower Niagara rivers, providing cheap hydroelectric power and building a model city for the future. But the dream collapsed. Economic panic and lack of funding stalled the canal's construction. All that was left was a massive pit, a scar in the earth. That scar became a dumping ground. Between the 1940s and 1950s, the Hooker Chemical Company filled the unfinished canal with more than 21,000 tons of chemical waste, pesticides, industrial solvents, and dioxins. They buried it, capped it, and sold the land to the local school board for just $1. Soon, houses were built. A school was constructed directly over the waste site, and a community moved in, completely unaware of the silent horror below. By the late 1970s, residents of Love Canal started noticing strange things. Black sludge oozed into basements after storms. Gardens refused to grow. Pets developed tumors. Children came home with unexplained rashes and nosebleeds. Miscarriages skyrocketed. Cancer cases surged. Birth defects appeared. The town was sick, but no one could prove why. Then came the rain. Torrential storms in 1977 raised the water table, forcing chemicals to rise to the surface. Yards flooded with foul-smelling liquids. The playground turned into a swamp of toxins. Residents demanded answers, but the authorities hesitated. The school board, the city, even state agencies, all slow to admit the scope of the catastrophe. Until one housewife, Lois Gibbs, refused to stay silent. She knocked on doors, collected signatures, and began exposing the truth. In 1978, the truth finally broke through. Tests confirmed what the community already knew. Love Canal was a chemical nightmare. President Jimmy Carter declared a federal emergency, the first of its kind for a toxic environmental disaster. Over 800 families were evacuated. The entire neighborhood was condemned. Homes were bulldozed. Streets were blocked off. But the damage had already been done. Many believe that Love Canal was a sacrifice. A community knowingly built atop poison, discarded when the truth became too inconvenient. Hooker Chemical, later bought by Occidental Petroleum, denied wrongdoing. Lawsuits dragged on for decades. Settlement after settlement was issued, but justice felt hollow. The scars, physical and psychological, never fully healed. Today, Love Canal is a ghost of its former self. A cautionary tale carved into the soil. New neighborhoods have been built nearby. Some say it's safe now, but the ground still remembers. Love Canal wasn't an isolated accident. It was a warning, one of many that we've ignored. Across the world, there are places just like it, where industry buried its sins and people paid the price. Not with money, but with health, with lives, with trust. This isn't just history. It's prophecy, because beneath the homes, parks, and schools of today, there may still be poison waiting to rise. This is the invisible collapse. Subscribe to uncover the stories they want you to forget.